It's time for you to create your fate.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If we are new friends, I am life coach Meg Ellis. And this channel is all about giving you the tools to create your absolute best life ever. And if you've noticed, this is not my recording studio. This is actually my home, my office. I live in Houston, Texas, and we've been hit with storm after storm. First, there was this crazy tornado and then this wild tropical storm. And then we actually had a hurricane. So all in the span of about 2 months. And unfortunately, my recording studio did not survive the chaos. So I've been recording the audio version of the show at home. Literally picture me in a closet with a microphone trying to manage 2 crazy dogs. Like, literally, it's been wild. So my new studio is just about ready. And while I've still been streaming the podcast audios on those platforms, I felt called to at least share the audio here with my episodes. So while this might not be the best high-tech production over here for a few weeks, I thought it's actually more important to get you the content. So the last couple episodes have actually been really, really good. Some serious drops of knowledge. And I did not want you guys to miss out. So thanks for showing up for me on YouTube. I promise to keep showing up for you even through all this crazy weather. So if you see this video, just know that the audio is about to stream and that I will be back on video in the next couple of weeks. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for sticking around. And of course, I'll be leaving you with one last thing. Expect good things always.
I'm your life coach, Meg Ellis, here to guide you to your best life ever. If you've been wondering if there's more to life out there for you, guess what? There is, and you're in the right place. Get out of your own head and out of your own way to create the life you know you deserve. It's time to create your fate. Welcome back to Create Your Fate, the life coaching podcast designed to give you the tools to create your absolute best life ever. I'm your host, life coach Meg Ellis, and I've helped hundreds of people create beautiful and fulfilling lives by applying the law of attraction, the Enneagram, and many other mindset techniques. And today we're going to be talking about you and your mindset. This is going to be an imperative technique that you can apply. And the good news is it's simply just about you. It is for you, just you, and the way that you see yourself. Because the way that you see yourself is actually wildly important, and it can make or break what life you end up living. And so if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that I am a soul cycle instructor. And the other day, I was on the phone with my friend's mom. This woman dropped a gem on me, and I just had to share it with you because it completely changed my entire day. I actually drove to my soul cycle class and ended up making the whole motivational message of class about what my friend's mom had told me on the phone. So she is a business owner, and she's sharing this story with me about this interaction that she had with a potential client. And pretty much the entirety of the story was about their interactions and how he was treating her and how she expects and wants to be treated. And just in casual passing, she had no idea how impactful this sentence was. She's sharing this story and she goes, "You know, I'm not a nobody. I'm a somebody. I'm not a nobody. I'm a somebody." And that just gave me chills. I'm not a nobody. I'm a somebody. Say that out loud. Seriously, just say it out loud. I'm not a nobody. I'm a somebody. And that mind shift is so powerful. And it made me think immediately, oh my gosh, where have I been treating myself like I'm a nobody in my life? And I hadn't really thought about it in that way until she dropped this gem on me. I'm telling you, I'm in the middle of just driving like, whoa, this is wild, this mind shift. Because I realized how sneaky your mind is and how much it truly does trick you into thinking that you are a nobody and how that affects all of your actions, myself included. So today we're going to focus on how you can actually use this phrase to fight self-doubt. You can use this phrase to be treated better in life by yourself and by others. And we're going to see where you might be treating yourself like a nobody in your life and see what could happen if you shifted into treating yourself like you are a somebody. So where does this show up in your life? Where are you treating yourself like you are a nobody? And this might be a little tricky and you might not know off of the bat. So you're going to ask yourself these 3 questions. These are going to be the little signs that you might be treating yourself like a nobody. 1, where is self-doubt showing up in my life? 2, where is complacency showing up in my life? And 3, where is fear showing up in my life? So, where is self-doubt? Where is complacency? And where is fear showing up in your life? And I'll share a personal story because I'm a human too. And I'm telling you, my mind was blown because I do consider myself to be somebody with high self-worth. I actually teach people how to have better self-worth. I consider myself to be a pretty confident person. And I realized, oh my gosh, even though I consider myself somebody to be, have high confidence and place a high value on myself, I still have these little tiny sneaky ways where I'm treating myself like a nobody. And the first one is actually interesting if you're listening to this podcast, because the podcast is exactly where I am treating myself like a nobody. This is where self-doubt comes in. Podcast, YouTube, social media, everything, the TikTok, the YouTube shorts, the Instagram, literally anything with social media. I noticed when I thought about this question, I'm actually treating myself like a nobody for this podcast, which I don't even know if you might know how I feel about this podcast. My YouTube presence, social media, all that stuff is wildly daunting. So I guess fear could probably be added into that too. But I doubt myself and I don't put out as much content that I truly want to put out there because I'm worried about, is it on brand? Is it going to weird people out? What if people don't vibe with this? Let me stick within this realm, or let me not share so much about my personal life, because this is where the nobody came in. Do people actually care? And I'm talking to this one girl the other day on the phone, and she does a lot of things with social media, and she was helping me out. And we were talking about the trends and what people actually do want to see. And I'm just like, do people actually care what I'm eating for lunch? And she's like, oh yeah, girl, they sure do. And I'm just also not a scroller on social media, which is why I outsource people to help me, because I'm not on there very much. And I kept having this hold up. Like, why would I post all these mundane things about my day-to-day life that I don't think people will care about? And that's when I started to realize, oh my gosh, I'm treating myself like a nobody. I'm doubting that people actually want to be invested in my life. I think I would post more about than what I'd be eating for lunch, but still, I was treating myself like a nobody, and I'm doubting, hey, no, post the video of you doing whatever throughout your day. Create the podcast episode on the topic that you truly do care about, even if it might not speak to some people. Don't worry about that. And I noticed all this self-doubt was creeping in. And I noticed the same thing about another project that I'm working on when it came to that complacency, where I am treating myself like a nobody. This is where complacency is popping up in my life. I've been redoing my website. I have a online platform and an app coming out, and I'm doing all of these things. But I realized I've been spending a month doing less coaching and more of the organizational stuff, the website building and the platform building and developing all of this stuff, which is wildly unfulfilling for me because I hate anything that has to do with technological, anything with an outlet, essentially, I hate. So I don't like doing this stuff. But I was okay with it, right? I was complacent with, this is just how I'm going to spend my day. I'm not going to spend 2 hours a day doing this. I'm going to spend the whole day making this website page. And I realized complacency was actually showing up in my life when Jasleen, my newest life coach, Jasleen, calls me out on a Marco Polo because she knows this project that I'm working on is a book and it's my passion project. It lights me up every time I write a sentence. Oh my gosh, I just love this content that I'm writing and I think it's just going to be so helpful for so many people. But I realize I've been complacent in my life with my day-to-day tasks of, checking this off or building this website. And Jasleen sends me a Marco Polo, which is like a video message the other day. And she goes, I'm going to call you out, girl. I haven't heard you talk about your book in a while. How's that coming along? And she goes, yes, this is me actually calling you out. I'm keeping you accountable. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is where this complacency and also fear is popping into my life because I'm just kind of being complacent with this day to day, these small little things that I want to check off that will be a helpful resource for people, surely, but not as much as the way I want to help people with my book. And I was actually complacent with this small way of helping people because I'm a nobody who's going to read my book. And that loops into that fear. Where is fear showing up in your life? And you can see fear in my first two examples. It does creep in, and sometimes it might be, self-doubt and complacency, or fear and self-doubt. And a lot of times the three kind of mesh together in this low self-worth, we'll call it a little sandwich here. But fear was showing up in my life with all of these things. And I noticed, wow, where am I treating myself like I am a nobody because of fear? And I realized it was actually showing up in my personal relationship. Because I am in a serious relationship. I have not been in one in years and years and years because I was dedicating time to personal development, growth, and my business. And here I am catching myself still being afraid of conflict and confrontation and not saying things in my personal relationship out of fear. When really, if I was treating myself like a somebody, I would say these things that I might want to know now or voice or even say, hey, are you okay? Without fearing the answer. If I treated myself like I was a somebody, hey, well, what does a somebody deserve in a relationship? Well, somebody deserves to say, hey, if you feel this way, then it's safe for you to voice it. And I noticed, wow, I think I have a pretty good dose of self-worth and I'm pretty confident, but wow, I'm still treating myself like a nobody. And here's the thing, we want the results of everything. I want the successful podcast. I want the successful YouTube channel. I want a New York Times #1 best-selling book. I want a fulfilling and thriving personal relationship with my partner, right? But I'm out of alignment. And everything is about alignment. Everything is about alignment. If you have hung around this podcast, you know I probably say that every other episode. It is all about alignment. Aligning your thoughts, your beliefs, to your behaviors, to your actions, to your desired results. What you want to happen. And if you're not aligning your everything from your thoughts and your beliefs to your actions, you're not going to get the desire that you want. And you'll start to notice, hey, like something's off. Like, yeah, something is actually off. It's called the vibe. The vibe is off because you are not matching the vibration of what you want. A successful social media platform. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. High vibe, amazing. Wow, my desire is a 10. But I'm thinking I'm a nobody and nobody's going to really care what I post about. So let me just kind of stay in this lane that I find a little bit boring when I think I could really offer something so much more. Yeah, those things don't match. So you're not going to be able to get what it is that you want when your vibe's off, right? I want a New York Times #1 bestselling book, but I'm complacent with, oh, let me just offer people this offering and this online shop and this way for personal development and this tiny little thing. So I'm not writing it all. So how are you going to get the best-selling book if you're not writing it all? If you're not prioritizing time to write? If you're not thinking, hey, you're somebody with something to say, write the damn book, right? So if you're not sure where you might be treating yourself like a nobody, ask yourself, hey, where's self-doubt popping up? Where's complacency popping up? Where's fear showing up? And it could look like the following behaviors. You might be treating yourself like a nobody if you are not asking to be paid fairly or on time for a service that you offer, or maybe you're not asking for a raise or the promotion, or even using your vacation days properly. Properly meaning what they were assigned for, actually taking your vacation days, using them, not losing them, and actually not working on your off days. You might be treating yourself like a nobody if you are accepting someone's poor efforts, poor behaviors. If you have trouble accepting compliments, or maybe you downplay your role in people's lives or your own achievements. If you don't want to be publicly recognized for a job well done and it's uncomfy, you might be treating yourself like a nobody if you apologize excessively. If you settle for what you didn't want, and this could be something as simple as a food order. I'm a vegetarian, but you ended up serving me pasta with meatballs in it. No, it's okay. That actually happened to me once. I was at dinner with someone who was an actual vegetarian, and they just brought them accidentally the wrong meal that had meat in it. And she was like, no, it's okay. Like, girl, you don't even eat meat. Stop treating yourself like you're a nobody. Treat yourself like a somebody. You got to stop treating yourself like you're a nobody. You're a somebody. And the last one is the one that I mentioned before, is fearing confrontation, doing nothing about it. I don't want to cause any type of conflict, or I don't want to start an argument. It's probably not that big of a deal. It's not worth it. And I want you to replace the word it with I'm. It's not really worth it. I'm not really worth it. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not that big of a deal. Are you treating yourself like you are a nobody? And do you believe that you are a somebody? Because you are a somebody, and it's time that we, right, myself included, treat ourselves. You got to treat yourself like you are a somebody, because you place a low value on yourself, and I guarantee you the world will not raise your price. That is nobody else's responsibility. That is one of my favorite quotes. Put a low value on yourself, and the world will not raise your price. That comes from John C. Maxwell, one of my favorite authors. But you have to start treating yourself like you are important. You got to start treating yourself like you matter. And here's the thing, is we wait around for other people to make us feel special and important. And really, we're not doing the job first. And here's the thing, is it's easier to expect this from other people when we don't do it ourselves. It's easier for us to look for recognition and, hey, treat me like I'm a somebody, treat me like I'm a somebody externally, because going internally is always harder. It always is. But that's where the lessons are, and that's where the beauty is. Okay, so let's debunk why it's harder for us to view our own selves as a somebody versus asking somebody else to. There's this myth that we're going to debunk about why it's hard to say about yourself, hey, I'm a somebody. I'm a somebody. And what I hear all the time is I don't feel comfortable saying that because it makes me feel entitled. I don't want to be cocky. I don't want to seem like I'm confident or full of myself. I want you to actually think about the words that you're saying, and do you even actually believe them? Do they speak to you, or are you just saying them because somebody else said that too? I don't want to be cocky. Why not? What's so bad about being cocky? Well, I don't want to feel like people think I'm confident in myself. Okay. Why? Why don't you want people to think that you're confident? Screw other people. What do you think about yourself? Do you want to feel confident? Okay. Oh, I don't want to seem full of myself. It kind of seems like I'm full of myself if I'm walking around saying, hey, I'm a somebody. Well, okay. You don't want to be full of yourself? If you're not full of yourself, who are you full of? Okay. Well, I don't want to say I'm a somebody because I don't want to take away from anybody else. And that right there is lack mindset. Lack mindset. Lack mindset is if you catch yourself using words like or but, lack mindset. We like words like and. We pick apart words here on this podcast. And you can be a somebody and somebody else can be a somebody. You being a somebody doesn't actually take away from anybody else also being a somebody. You got to think that you are important. I feel weird saying I'm important. Why? You want everybody else in the room to think you're important. Why don't you think that you're important? Are you expecting other people to think you're important when you're not actually acting like you think you're important? Well, I don't know. I don't want people to think that I deserve it. That sounds like I'm entitled. Okay, do you think you deserve it? You do a good job, right? Do you deserve the off day? Do you deserve your vacation time? Do you deserve the right meal that you ordered? Yeah. Okay. You got a good message? I'm talking to myself here. You got a good message, Meg? Do you think you deserve the world to see it? Think it can help people if you do it? Yeah. I was with a client one time and she makes these absolutely stunning, beautiful Christmas trees. And she does them for stores or your personal home. And they're these beautiful 10, 12-foot Christmas trees, and they're made out of all kinds of amazing, ribbons and the bows and crazy stuff in there. They're really ornate and elaborate Christmas trees, and they're beautiful. And she was treating herself like she's a nobody. She didn't want to raise her prices. And I said, well, why don't you want to raise your price? Well, I don't know. I'm still kind of new to this, and all these, self-doubt, complacency, fear starts to creep in. She starts treating herself like she's a nobody. Well, I'm kind of new to this still, and I don't know, this other company, they've been around for longer, so I want to charge less than them. And I don't know, I just don't have that many clients yet, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. And so I said, okay, well, let me see a picture of the Christmas tree. Let me just take a look at it and I'll see what you can charge. I have no idea what the going rate for a Christmas tree is. But again, looking external, right? So she shows me this one. Oh, let me pull this one up on my phone. And well, okay, this one's okay. And she shows me this picture of this absolutely gorgeous Christmas tree. And I looked at it, I said, oh yeah, it's nothing special. And she goes, what? I was like, yeah, it's really nothing special. You're right. It's just kind of okay. And she's like, what? I'm like, well, why is it okay when you say it, but not when I say it? You're treating yourself like a nobody, but you're mad when I treat you like a nobody. Girl, this Christmas tree is amazing. Let's work on you believing why it's amazing. And here's this thing that's this lie that we've all been trapped in. And it's called humility. And we actually mask our fear in humility. Oh, I want to be humble. I want to downplay myself. I don't want anyone to think I'm better than anybody. Guess what? There are some things that you are going to be better at than other people. And guess what? There's going to be things that other people are better than you at. That's how it works. We all have our gifts. We have our unique talents and skills, but we downplay them and start treating ourselves like we're a nobody. When you're not a nobody, you're somebody. So what would your life look like in the areas that you noticed, hey, I'm treating myself like I am a nobody? What would it look like if I started treating myself like I'm a somebody? Well, for me, let's see. Actually, I have a really interesting example. Perfect timing with this episode. I was treating myself like I'm a nobody on social media. I said, I don't know, do people really care about this? I got a life coaching page, but I went to, Madrid and for Taylor Swift, and I had pretty good seats. I was really close to her. So let me actually post a video of the concert and then throw on like 3 little travel hacks for seeing a show abroad I think people would find useful. If I was a nobody, I wouldn't have done that. But I said, I'm a somebody. Somebody's going to care about this because I think it could actually help people, right? And it's a cool experience. And at the very least, if you don't want to take the travel tips, see Taylor Swift up close and personal because my seats were amazing. So I posted this video because I'm a somebody. I think, hey, Taylor Swift is important to me. And I had a cool experience. Let me share it with other people. I think other people will care about this. And it's been up for about 24 hours at this point, and it has 344,000 views. Y'all, the lessons. What would my life look like if I started to actually write this book? Well, if I started to actually treat myself like a somebody, I'd probably write every single day and hit my goal, my deadline of finishing it by the end of the year. And if I started to treat myself like I'm a somebody in my relationship, then I would probably say, hey, this feeling that you're feeling is worth expressing. And it's okay for you to express it. And you don't have to be fearful of the relationship ending just because you're acting like yourself. And that self is a somebody. So you can see how even just that simple shift of, I'm not a nobody, I'm a somebody, can change your life. So let's talk about behaviors of a somebody. And the first one is assertiveness, which means you can express your needs, your opinions, your feelings honestly, and without violating anybody else's rights. Responsibility, where you take responsibility for your mistakes. You can apologize when necessary. You can make amends. I'm a somebody. I can do this. You're going to be able to accept compliments and actually see yourself through the eyes of others. And that leads into having more self-love, being able to love yourself. And that's actually going to lead to more satisfying relationships with other people. And here's the thing, out of all these things, these behaviors of treating yourself like a somebody, I don't think these things take away from anybody else. Everybody else is welcome to do these things too. They're not bad things. So how do you start treating yourself like you're a somebody? Well, the first thing that you can do is you can practice self-compassion. I don't think you are meant to be perfect or made to be perfect. And you're allowed to make mistakes. And you're allowed to forgive yourself for your mistakes. And you're allowed to accept all parts of yourself. You can identify your negative thoughts. It's perfect timing. I got a challenge coming out July 22nd. It's a positive thinking challenge. 21 days. Reframe your negative thoughts into positive ones. You have to be aware of these distorted thoughts that are affecting your self-worth and how you see yourself. You can replace them with actual positive thoughts. So if that speaks to you, check out that challenge. The link is in the bio. You can start to challenge yourself. Hey, can I write this book in 6 months? Can I do this? Yeah, I think I can. I'm a somebody. I got things to say to people. People got to read this stuff. They got to learn what I learned because it helped me. Yeah, I'm going to challenge myself to actually commit to writing every single day. You can set boundaries. This is a huge one, especially if you are fearful of confrontation or conflict. Practice your boundaries. If I'm with somebody and I have a boundary with eating meat, then no, I'm not going to accept somebody else's mistake when they bring me a dish with meat in it. Right? And you can do these things with kindness and love and grace. Right? We forgive ourselves and we also forgive others. But set boundaries. This behavior is okay. This behavior is not okay. You told me a year ago that I would be in a place for a promotion. You told me you would respect my vacation day. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to take my computer with me. I'm not going to check my email when it's my off day. And all these things help you take care of yourself, because if you truly believe that you are a somebody, then you're going to take care of yourself. If something matters, you take care of it, right? All this to say, this is so important. Why? Because you matter. That's it. That doesn't sound cocky, right? That doesn't sound arrogant. That doesn't sound like you're full of yourself. Just say it out loud. I matter. I matter. Period. You matter. What you think matters. What you feel matters. What you think about yourself matters. What you do for yourself matters. So stop thinking of yourself as a nobody, because you're not a nobody. You're somebody. And if you are a somebody and you truly believe that, what changes would you make in your life? Let's dial it back. Let's just do today. whenever you are listening to this podcast for the rest of the day, if you started treating yourself like you are a somebody for the rest of the day, what would your day look like? And are you willing to commit to doing something that honors you being a somebody? Because you are not a nobody. You are a somebody. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. Whew. So I just had to share this message with you because it totally changed my own perception of myself. And I hope it changes your perception of yourself. If you did enjoy this episode, subscribe. I post episodes like this all the time. And if you know somebody else who could also benefit from knowing that they are a somebody, send it to them. I so appreciate every time you share my podcast with other people. It helps them grow. It helps me grow. It helps the show grow. So I can continue to produce these episodes for y'all and get amazing guests on the show for you. So that's all I got for you today. But if I could leave you with just one thing, it would be this. Expect good things always, and they will happen. Be sure to check out my brand new digital course, 21 Days to Positive Thoughts. Go from being consumed with negativity to actually thinking kind things about yourself in only 3 weeks. That's right. Head over to letscreateyourfate.com or check out the link in the notes to get 21 Days to Positive Thoughts now. And for a limited time, you can get the course for only $29 when you take my free masterclass, Manifesting 101. That's right, 2 courses for only $29. Download them today and start creating your best life ever. That's all I got for you today. But of course, if I could leave you with just one thing, it would be this. Expect good things always, and they will happen.